it presents a different problem. Quarterback draw, the scramble, the bootleg stuff, so that we're alert for that right now, and we've got to do a little better job ourselves running the football downhill.
How long will you keep Priest Holmes in this game? Is it to try to get that last record, or do you think
I'm not thinking the record anymore. I'm just thinking about playing football to win and send these guys into a playoff game feeling good about themselves.
Dick, thanks very much. Good luck in the second half.
All right, thanks to Dan Jiggs with Dick Vermeil, and certainly right at the top to talk about the defense. That's been noticeable.
Yes.
They got a break late that the Bears mismanaged the clock, but certainly the defense has been better for Kansas City.
Well, yeah, and I think they have to be, Sam. You know, because they got the bye week and they're going into the playoffs. They need to feel good about themselves. But for Chicago, at the end of the half, in a game where they've played hard, they've battled hard, they've had opportunities. Defensively, they made it tough for Kansas City. You know, the clock management at the end, to me, that was horrific. And you know, I said I apologize because points are precious in the NFL, man. I mean, they are very, very precious. And when you have an opportunity to get anything before a half, to make your team feel good about themselves for the second half, you have to find a way to get it.
And they came up empty. The pass that should have gone into the end zone went in the field of play. Jerry Azuma forced back into the end zone, turns it upfield. Looking for some room, but there is not much, and he's down at the 18-yard line. Somebody's helmet down on the field. That's Jerry Azuma's. Now, here's the clock management you were talking about.
Well, there was 19 seconds when they got down there, and then he spiked the ball, okay? You take 2 shots at the end zone, and if you don't make it, then you line up and you kick a field goal for an easy 3. That play right there, I don't believe that was a rookie that just stepped in the way of a ball being thrown out of bounds.
Yeah, I think maybe Dick Duran had a bad view of it from the sideline. Now Cordell Stewart will finish the game. Rex Grossman out with a right hand injury. Anthony Thomas turns it into a big gainer, forcing his way across the 35. Scott Fujita and John Browning make the stop. What a hard, tough run for Anthony Thomas, who now goes over 1,000 yards rushing this season, second time in his career.
Well, let's take a look. I think all you have to do is look at the shoulders. Let's take a look at the snap of the ball. Here we have a guy crashing a gap, guy crashing a gap. The shoulders are turned. You see the way they get split? This defense shoots gaps, meaning that they slant their defensive linemen in between maybe the center and the guard and the tackle. But when they get there, they're getting pushed by. That's what creates holes.
Thomas again gets across the 40 up to the 42. He's over 50 yards rushing in the game. And Thomas had the big second half last week against the Washington Redskins, rushed for over 100 yards in the second half.
Take a look at Eric Hicks. Eric Hicks is lined up outside here. Watch him flow down, flatten down the line of scrimmage. The tight end Clark never really blocks him, and he just chases out. He flattens down the line. A lot of times, ends get upfield too far. Hicks flattened and was there to make the tackle.
Wide receivers Booker and Terrell to the left. Handoff inside, and Anthony Thomas gets back to the line of scrimmage. The middle linebacker Kawika Mitchell made the tackle. First half, rushing statistics close. Passing yardage, big edge to the Chiefs as Trent Green went over 4,000 yards passing this season. Time of possession, big edge to Kansas City.
And, you know, that's what the Bears actually said. You know, if they couldn't come out and hit the big ball with Rex Grossman, then to be competitive, they had to control the time of possession and keep Kansas City's offense off the field. They've done neither.
Rabi Abdullah in the backfield, 3 wide receivers. And the Chiefs come running across the line as flags go down. And we'll see.
Is the ball getting flinched again?
The Chiefs are pointing the Bears' way.
Was the center flinching the ball again?
Encroachment. Number 99 in defense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Bonnie Holiday, the man who jumped across too soon.
Well, yeah, and Bonnie moved inside, too. Take a look at the center. Is he moving the ball? No, he didn't move at all. No, that ball didn't move. Bonnie Holiday is now in this nickel alignment, this third down pass rush for the Chiefs. He goes into inside to the tackle position to rush. And Gary Stills, remember we were talking about, he goes over Gibson.
Josh Warner, number 67, a backup guard, is in as the second tight end.
But at 3rd and short, they're not in nickel anymore. They got their regular D-line in.
They're 3rd and 1. 2 tight ends to the right. Anthony Thomas runs into the wall, falls forward, and this is going to be very, very close. Sean Barber with a good tackle. They're standing right on that first down line. And the placement is on the line, which would mean a first down, but they're calling the chains for a measurement.
Well, they're lucky it was just a yard. Anthony Thomas didn't. He was just trying to get the first down. He wasn't trying to act like that was a normal rushing play. Because, again, the defensive line came in, and they turned their shoulders. I talked to Big Daddy Carl Harrison, their defensive line coach. And he knows. He played that game a long time. And when we used to respect the defensive linemen, and he goes, I don't teach that.
4th and inches short. All right, and it looks like the Bears will go for it.
Watch when they get into the gaps, the defensive line, and they get their shoulders turned. See the shoulder turn there? See which way they're turning? You can't have your shoulders facing the sideline and be a defensive lineman. You can't do that. And I don't know if that's in the scheme, if that's taught, but to me, that's the problem with your run defense.
Now here are the Bears trying to keep this drive alive and get something going to start the second half. 4th and inches. In motion, the tight end, Desmond Clark, and Cordell Stewart fighting for those inches. He didn't get much, but he only needed a few inches on the play. That was a tough game for Cordell Stewart. The Bears think he got enough, and here come the chains again.
I think it's all going to have to do with the spot, and I don't think it's very favorable.
O'Neal looks on. He'd like to get a bit of a bigger lead so he could rest some of his top players later on in the game. And they just made it. Length of the football.
Well, they went over the right side, and that's where that mass of humanity is in Aaron Gibson. Take a look at Big Gibby right here. All 380-some pounds of him. That's a lot of men. Watch the push he gets on Eric Hicks. Eric Hicks, you know, he can't. That's a lot of men to battle.
Bears with 3 wide receivers, 5 DBs in for Kansas City. First down at their 48. Anthony Thomas stopped. He ran into John Browning, and Browning would not be moved. Big job by the 8th-year defensive tackle, John Browning.
Well, watch Sims. I think that's putting Sims right here over the outside tackle, the under tackle. He gets that push and penetration into the backfield, and Browning is just the beneficiary of what Sims cleans up. And I think that move, Sam, for them may be one of their better moves that they've made, making Sims the under tackle and Monteith Sharp the nose tackle.
Jimmy Wilkerson, number 66, in at right defensive end. The fake by Stewart, rolling, throwing back, wide open. Desmond Clark, the tight end, down to the Chiefs' 30-yard line.
Wide open is a pretty good way to describe that, Sam. I'd say you're right on the money there. 24-yard pickup,
and Stewart's throwing the ball better now. He's gotten into a little bit of a rhythm.
Well, watch the tight end just move right in here. And actually, there was 2 guys that were open. They brought the receiver in there, too. I believe that was Wade deep in the middle, and they brought underneath Clark, the tight end.
First down for the Bears at the Chiefs' 30. Pritchett and Thomas in the backfield. Anthony Thomas again wrapped up. Bonnie Holiday this time for no gain. Defensive front is doing a pretty good job getting to the ball.
Well, you know, this is a new look, okay? This is a new look that the Bears have not seen yet. Monteith Sharp, a rookie in there. There's Sims underneath. Browning has been outside. I'm sorry, Browning's actually at the under tackle now, and Hicks is outside. And Bonnie Holiday's in. They rotate these guys all through. There's 9 of them, Sam, and they keep on bringing them in and changing them all the time.
Browning is out. Number 92, Eric Downing, is in. Stewart to throw. Dumped it off short, incomplete. Intended for Anthony Thomas. Almost looked like a half a shovel pass. And Thomas dropped the ball. Thomas, who had gone 10 games without catching a pass, has 2 receptions in the last 2 games, each of the last 2.
Well, you know, here now they got 3rd and long, and now they even change again. Okay, Hicks is going to go to the inside. Arcal Truluck 91 goes to the right end spot, and then 55, Gary Stills, he comes over Gibson.
3rd and 10. 10th play of the drive for the Bears. Wade in motion. Blitz coming. Stewart gets rid of it and batted down. It looked like Ryan Sims batted that ball down.
Bernard Hart, Stu, was in on it. 42, you said blitz was coming. He came right up in there, and he was one of the blitzers. He got up in it. Watch Bernard Hart's 42 right in here. He comes on the blitz, and he jumps, times it perfectly, and gets one hand on it.
You were right on that. Hart's with the block. Edinger, who missed from 52 yards earlier, will try a 48-yard field goal. Maynard the holder, Patrick Manley the long snapper. Bears trying to get points on the board. The kick has got direction, and it comes up good. Just went over the crossbar. Edinger, a 48-yard field goal. The Bears have their first points of the game. The Chiefs will get the ball, and Priest Holmes still looking for the touchdown record.
Congratulations! You launched the pink slip virus. Your office is now infected. They'll soon trace it back to you. Good luck finding a new job.
Want to get away? Now you can with Southwest Airlines Internet specials for just $39 to $99 when you purchase by January 19th, only at Southwest.com.
You are now free to move about the country.
Before a small business owner buys something new for their business, they make sure it's right for their business. So we're making it easy to find out if SBC Yahoo DSL Business Edition is right for you. Go to SBC.com/DSL to learn how it can help you do more quickly, for less than you'd expect. Just $29.95 a month, guaranteed. Seeing small business differently. SBC.
Introducing the all-new rotary-powered Mazda RX-8.
Jack?
The way you feel about sports cars will never be the same.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Mazda. There's a soul of a sports car in everything we make.
Next week, playoffs begin, and Fox will have a wild card playoff game for you beginning at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. NFC wild card game. Edinger, a bouncing kick. Dante Hall takes it at the 12. Finds an opening and then is pulled down by Joe Tafoya up at the 38-yard line. After the whistle stuff, things settle down. Dick Duran hoping his team will stop the Chiefs.
The praise that Mazda 6 has received for applying sports car engineering to a sedan will appeal to all sorts of people. For the safety conscious, the highest government safety rating. For the consumer minded, the highest rated midsize sedan among owners, and 50 international awards. For the speed readers, the Mazda 6.
Get 0.0% APR financing for 5 years plus no monthly payments due until June 2004 or $2,500 cash back on selected 2003 Mazda 6 models.
There's a feeling in my heart that I can't explain. Is this love? The look in your eyes I just can't explain. Is this love? I lose myself out to fear. So tomorrow, will you feel the same? Is this love?
sometimes all it takes is a switch. So find out if switching to new Levitra is your next move. Ask your doctor if a free sample is right for you. Ask about new Levitra.
Come on through.
Through the NFL and the United Way, Will Shields of the Kansas City Chiefs volunteers at a kids camp.
I teach them physical dexterity, motor skills.
We play tag.
Will Shields knows what matters.
Practice social skills, group interaction.
He's good at seeking, but he stinks at hiding.
I love kids.
You don't have to be Will Shields to make a difference in your community.
Look, there he is! We always catch him.
Green Bay and Minnesota play later on, and those games will determine who makes the playoffs. Minnesota wins, they win the division. Green Bay win and Minnesota loss, Green Bay wins the division. However, if Minnesota, Green Bay win and Dallas loses and Dallas is trailing, Green Bay would be out and Seattle would be in. Because Green Bay would lose the three-way tiebreaker with Seattle and Dallas. Chief from the 38. Green swings it outside. Dante Hall knocked down by Lance Briggs, the rookie linebacker out of Arizona. Greg Lodge telling us about Briggs and Tillman saying they love the game. Football is important to them. They love to be coached, and they're the core of the future of the defense of the Bears.
You know what else Greg Bloch said that really struck me? He talked about the passion of these two guys, and I talked with Briggs too, and he exudes that passion. But every Monday, they come in and watch the film, and they have a grade sheet. They grade themselves. And Greg said they grade themselves harder than the coaches do.
On 2nd and 10, Boerichter in motion. Green throws, and it's caught by Tony Gonzalez. Short gain up to the 41-yard line. Indianapolis Colts are in trouble. JB has the update for us.
That's right, Sam. You know they're battling Tennessee for the AFC South title, but Houston will have no parts of it. Dominic Davis, the rookie out of LSU, second rushing touchdown of the day. It is 17-3. Houston over Indianapolis. Sam, Bill, and Dan.
And in the other game, JB, Tennessee is ahead of Tampa Bay. Big, 19-3. So if Tennessee wins, Indianapolis loses. Tennessee wins the AFC South. Green, big blitz down by Brian Urlacher. Big blitz by Urlacher for the sack on Trent Green.
That's about a 15-yarder, too.
Well, he came in with speed. And Green never had a chance to set up.
Well, Joe, take a look at it. Here's Urlacher. He's going to be coming right in here. Watch him. And he comes underneath and through the tight end. They slid the line away from the Mike linebacker, being Urlacher, and then he wasn't picked up by the tight end, Jason Dunn.
The Bears' first sack of the game. They came into the game with the fewest sacks in the league. Baker's punt. R.W. McQuarters calls for a fair catch at the 35, so the Bears defense does the job. Trent Green looking to pass is thrown down by Brian Urlacher.
Meeting's at 8. We got 5 minutes to get there. Go around this guy. He's not even moving.
With the class-leading 250 horsepower V6 engine, the Saturn Vue can get you to the meeting on time. Unless you turn on the 6-speaker stereo. Get a new 2004 Saturn Vue with 0% APR financing for 5 years. See your retailer for details.
When your picture really matters, rely on Verizon Wireless Picture Messaging. It lets you personalize your pictures with text and sound.
Give me what I want or else.
So you can really grab people's attention.
Give me a squirrel. My clippers.
Now you can get unlimited picture messaging for only $4.99 a month.
Can you hear me now?
I got my squirrel.
Good. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
If this beautiful woman can convince her family and friends she wants to marry a man they've never met, she'll walk away with $1 million prize. Sound easy?
I can do this.
She thought so too, until Fox introduced her to him. This January, the con is on.
We are engaged. We are getting married in 3 days.
Why is it happening so fast?
My Big Fat Obnoxious Fiancé, premiering Monday, January 19th on Fox.
They've grown up right before your eyes.
You want to know what the best thing about childhood is? At some point, it stops.
Fox Monday, see how far they've come.
Sis, I wasn't talking to him.
With a special Malcolm Mini Marathon, including the first episode.
Arms up. Dude.
The Malkathon, starting on 8/7 Central Fox Monday.
During his 5-year tenure as head coach of the Bears, Dick Duran has been a man in search of a consistent offense. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they haven't had stability at the quarterback position during his 5 years. From the 35, Pritchett shifts. Thomas carries his 13th carry of the game, but he's ridden out of bounds by Sean Barber. And the Bears offensively, 3 points in the game, 3.9 yards per carry, 11 for 22 passing, just 1 for 9 on third down.
Well, that's doing a job today, don't you think?
Yeah. No, offensively?
No.
Not doing the job.
No, but, well, you know, again, they've had that quarterback problem.
Yeah.
You know, and Rex Grossman started out. They looked good for a couple series. Then you get injured. Now you get a quarterback that comes in, hasn't even done anything for the game plan this week.
Double fake. The pressure is on once again. And Jerry still, no, this time was Scott Fujita, the outside linebacker, blitzing on the play with big pressure on Cordell Stewart and forced him to get rid of it in a hurry, and it's incomplete.
Boy, the Chiefs are just, they're really just doing what they want at times defensively. And they've done it enough through the course of this game that they've got to be having a good feeling about the things that they can do and how they can control the game. Hey, Chicago came into this game running the football. They had a good run offense.
They've had a change on the offensive line. Steve Edwards has moved from left guard to left tackle. Terrence Metcalf in at left guard. Stewart throws it, intercepted by Fujita. And he brings it back to the Bears' 35-yard line. The second-year linebacker out of California, Scott Fujita, picks off the Cordell Stewart pass. And the Chiefs will have great field position off the big turnover. With a 14-3 lead, the Chiefs looking to add to it.
With a 140 horsepower engine and responsive handling, we put the fun back into the compact car, the Saturn Ion. Finance the new 2004 Saturn Ion 1 with air conditioning and CD player for $179 a month. See your retailer for details.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Friendly nonstop service all across the country. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. By Office Max, what's your thing? By Michelob Ultra, lose the carbs, not the taste. And by Saturn, makers of the highly adaptable View, stylish midsize L300, and the fun-to-drive Ion.
First career interception for Scott Fujita. And from the 35, the Chiefs. Priest Holmes, 3 blockers in front of him, but he was upended. Nice play by Jerry Azuma. Couple of key plays by Scott Fujita.
You know, this team, when they get a lead and you make it offense one-dimensional, that's when the turnovers become so great for the Chiefs. And that's been an MO of the Dick Vermeil teams way back when. It's also been an MO of Greg Robinson's defenses.
36 takeaways this season for the Kansas City Chiefs. 29 of them came during their 9-game winning streak. Here's Holmes slipping a couple of tackles, got tripped up by Bobby Gray at the 30. Let's find out what's happening between the Rams and the Lions. JB.
All right, what you'll see is Joey Harrington hooking up with a 13-yard pass play to Oz Hakeem. That came off of a Rams fumble by Mark Bulger. Rams, you know, with the victory will clinch home field throughout, but Detroit's making it tough, narrowing the gap back to Stan, Bill, and Dan.
Thanks very much, JB. Rams need a win to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Tony Richardson, the lone setback on third down. Have to get to the 25 for first. Green looking, waiting, now being pressured. Flag on the play. Green fakes, runs, has first down yardage, but I believe that's going to be called back. The flag is at the 35-yard line. Joe Tafoya with big pressure.
Well, on the offensive line. When the offensive linemen don't move downfield to get in the huddle and they're standing around looking at that flag,
they know.
Yeah, Big Willie Rope, they're going to call this on. Willie has to move.
10-yard penalty, still third down.
77. He actually gets, I believe it was Brian Robinson. 98 that came charging in there. It might have been Alex Brown. And Willie didn't have a good set. He didn't have a good base. And he got his hands up on his shirt and was pulling on him. And he got free from Willie. And then he was the one that actually pressured Trent Green out of the pocket.
54. Chiefs back to the 40-yard line. Have to get to the 25 for first down. Three wide receivers in. The blitz coming. Holdman got a piece of Trent Green. The pass is incomplete. Warwick Holdman with the blitz from his linebacker position, forcing Trent Green.
Well, that was just a matter of who got there first, because they knew the blitz was coming. They being the Kansas City Chiefs. They knew the blitz was on, and they had the perfect play called for it, the screen play. And Trent, if he could have got the ball out there, that thing could have bust all the way to the end zone.
McWaters standing back at his 10. Jason Baker with his 5th punt of the game. Baker gets time. Good high punt. McWaters lets it bounce to the 6. The Chiefs are there. They'll down it at the 2-yard line. Excellent high punt, 38 yards, no return. The Chiefs all over it with their punt-covered team. The Chiefs leading the Bears 14-3.
When the stakes are high, the great ones answer the call. Like a November wind, you cut through the unforgiving wasteland of company data and emerge with numbers that were once untouchable. You have the new Microsoft Office system. It's showtime.
You ever go horseback riding?
Are you kidding? Those things are huge.
What about motorcycles?
No way. You ever hang glide?
No, I'm scared of flying.
Surfing?
Way too dangerous.
Right.
No matter where your adventures take you, bring your Visa card. The card accepted at millions of places near and far. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
As John Lynch makes his way through another NFL season, one can't help but notice just how stylish he looks in his brand new authentic jersey. Trendy, dashing, 100% fashionable. It's a jersey that'll earn him football's highest compliment.
Get whatever's on the field by calling 877-NFL-SHOP. For a free team catalog of NFL gear, call now or visit NFL Shop on NFL.com.
Gruden can't help but admire Lynch's impeccable sense of style.
Who's Chad Brown? He's a 3-time Pro Bowler, so you gotta ask yourself, what's it like getting hit by a stick of dynamite? No! Stop playing, Chad! Come on, John.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Microsoft. Your potential, our passion.
If you joined us late, Rex Grossman was hurt late in the first half. He was taken down by Gary Stills, fell on his right hand, injured the middle finger. No break, but the finger's taped up, and you see the wide receivers all around him, checking him out. He was 6 for 10 for 31 yards while he was in there.
You know, and that's a lot of concern. You know, you got a game going on. Guys only do that if they really, truly care about the person who's injured.
From the 2, Anthony Thomas, not much. There's a flag on the play, and we'll check that out. And once again, the defensive front of the Chiefs just putting up a wall in front of the Bears.
They've been extremely impressive.
Offside, number 90, defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Ryan Sims jumped off.
They've been extremely impressive. It's something they needed to do for themselves. They had to do for their team goals. It was to get better. But you can still see flashes of problems that they occur when they occur in the things that they do by technique alone.
Bears get 5 yards on the Chiefs offside. 1st and 5. That's at the 7-yard line. Josh Warner, number 67, is a tight end on the right side, the second tight end. And it's Thomas. Hit, bounces off, gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard on the play. Sean Barber in on the stop, and Barber, another good pickup in the offseason as a free agent by the Chiefs.
You know, today the Chiefs came with different packages in the defensive line. They moved Gary Stills in there, who's had a big day. They put him at the left-end spot. True Luck at the right-end spot. And they put Bonnie Holiday inside. They put Hicks inside, John Browning. And they've had different groups of guys in personnel, whether it be regular down and distance or nickel pass rush, when it's been effective today.
On 2nd and 5, Pritchett, the fullback, in motion. Stewart, pump fake, throwing outside. It's up for grabs. It's intercepted. Greg Wesley with the interception of the tip pass. And the original pass was up for grabs as well, because there was good coverage on the play by Dexter McCleon. 6th interception for Greg Wesley.
Well, this is a pump fake where you're going to watch. This is like an out and up. Watch Cordell Stewart. See the pump motion? Well, Dexter McCleon never bit on it. And he was there to get that tip right there with Marty Booker that enabled that thing to get picked off. But it was McCleon, really, who never bit on the fake, on that pump fake, that out and up.
I want to say something about Wesley. You know, we know Jerome Woods made the Pro Bowl.
He
for
should
the
have.
Chiefs. Wesley's had a terrific year.
He should have. He definitely, you're right, Sam.
2 tight ends in for the Chiefs. Again, great field position at the Bears. 28. 25th interception of the season for the Chiefs. Green throwing outside, complete to Tony Gonzalez. Brown takes him down at the 11-yard line. There's a flag back at the 20.
I'm not so sure if that may not be on Tony. It looks like there's a push-off there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's find out.
Or that, or when he was getting off, it was
number
Mike
30
Brown.
Defense. Penalties declined. First down.
There was holding. 18-yard pickup for the Chiefs.
Yeah, this was, here's the combination right here. Here's Gonzalez, and he's going to match up right there with Mike Green. And he gets into him, and see right there? I thought they might have got Tony for pushing off and grabbing him and pushing him off, but Mike Green must have had a fistful of jerseys. Mike Brown, I'm sorry, Green wanted your reserve. Mike Brown, 30.
First down for the Chiefs. The toss, Priest Holmes, slips one man, knocked out of bounds hard at the 7-yard line by Mike Brown.
Oh, Briggs got outside there. Mike Brown got outside.
Well, they're close to the goal line. They want to give Priest Holmes the ball.
Did you hear the umpire? He's hearing complaints. I'm being held. I'm being held. He's here. I'm sorry. Who held you? That's a pretty good line.
He's taking names.
Briggs got outside and made that thing bounce, and then Mike Brown was in there flying up to make the tackle. That's a pretty good line. The defensive line, when they yelled at the umpire, I'm getting held. I'm getting held. Who's holding you? I'm sorry.
2nd and goal from the 6. Here goes Priest again. Richardson with a block. There's no gain this time. Warwick Holdman ran it down. Good job by Holdman. That'll bring up a 3rd down at the 6-yard line.
Boy, they string this thing out nice. And they being the Bears defense. See that? See how there's all these guys? They just, you know, when they say, you know that those signs D and then the guy holds up a fence? That's what that was right there. That was just a picket after picket after picket right on out to form the fence to the sideline.
It's 3rd. They can get a 1st down just inside the 1. On 3rd down, the pass to Gonzalez, and he's wrestled back by Charles Tillman. Good strength by Tillman on big, strong Tony Gonzalez. It'll bring up a 4th down at the 2-yard line. Let's see what the Chiefs and Dick Vermeil will do.
You know, Priest Holmes get this pickup right here on the blitz. That enables the play to happen. You know, a lot of things happen that you don't know what all goes into it. You see Priest Holmes on that blitz pickup, and if he didn't step up and take Bobby Gray out, Bobby Gray would have just smashed Green.
4th and a yard and a half. They can get a first down inside the 1. Look for Priest Holmes here. Here he goes. He's touchdown. NFL record for Priest Holmes. He adds to his single-season rushing touchdown record, and he now holds the record for most touchdowns in a season. Passing, Marshall Faulk, he has 27.
Little misdirection scissors play. He comes off the backside behind the fullback, Tony Richardson, and what a pretty picture that must be, him diving into the end zone.
Morton Anderson's kick is through, and what a great job the offensive line has done. They're loving this for Priest Holmes. They wanted this badly for him.
There's a misdirection play, and watch him just follow. And he's up and over. Beautiful shot.
Will Shields with the big block up front. Two touchdowns in the game for Priest Holmes. He now has 27 rushing. That's the NFL record. And 27 total. That's an NFL record. And he now holds the Kansas City Chiefs all-time touchdown record with 61. And gets one more hug from Dick Vermeil. Great day for Priest Holmes. The Chiefs wanted this for him. You had a chance to talk with him, Bill. He didn't really emphasize it.
No, you know, something he wanted. He wanted to score a bunch of touchdowns this year, and he made that a goal going into the season.
But he didn't talk about records. He just wanted to score for his team.
He just wanted as many touchdowns as he could possibly get, because what he said was, I had the yards before. 1,000-yard rushers, 1,500 yards, whatever it is, he's had the yards. And he said, look at the guys, the running backs this year that have gotten those yards, but yet are going home to the playoffs. And there's a lot of them.
Chiefs now with a big 21-13 lead. Under a minute to go in the third quarter. Baker's kick is short. Azuma from the 15. A wedge of blockers. Azuma was tripped up and gets up to the 35-yard line.
You know, and everything that Priest Holmes is, and everything he stands for, and his disposition and the way he carries himself on and off the field, you know, that, to me, is there a more deserving guy to hold the record? And even go back and look at some of the guys that held that record. Emmitt Smith, the people of that nature, you know, that it's deserving to a guy like that from where I sit. And I don't mind saying it, and congratulations, Priest Holmes, on a fantastic job and an NFL record.
The Bears start from the 34. It's Anthony Thomas running hard. William Barty got a piece of him, pulled him down. Good strength on the run by Anthony Thomas up to the 44-yard line. He's got a first down.
Sam, you know, Dick Vermeil deserves a lot of this credit too. And, you know, you talk about the character, I was just talking about the character of Priest Holmes. And, you know, look at the character of that man and the patience that man, Dick Vermeil's had. He's had the patience with Dante Hall. He's had that kind of patience with a number of players that he waits for them to become. With Trent Green.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 88 of the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Eric Warfield is a guy, too. You know, people where you struggle or you think you can't or they haven't been able to. You know, Dick, and I asked him about it. He says, hey, at my age, I can afford patience because I've done this before. I've done those things. I've done it before. I've seen it. So I can wait on a guy to become good. And if he believes in you, and that belief, I think, carries over to the players on the field.
I agree with you. End of the third quarter. Priest Holmes has added another touchdown and added more points to the record books of the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs lead the Bears 21-3. Priest Holmes has 2 touchdowns and 2 NFL records.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
There's been a lot of talk about the 2004 F-150. Since headlines don't tell the whole story,
We'll let the F-150 speak for itself. Only one truck earned the right to be the next F-150. Enough said. Now get financing as low as 0% or up to $1,000 cash back on F-150 from your Midwest Ford dealers. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
You can do it, man. Just relax and follow through. You know, it never hurts to get a little help from an expert. So when I have foundation problems, like cracks in the sheetrock or doors that won't close, I go to the experts at Ocean Foundation Repair. They use the patented cable lock system, and you get a lifetime transferable warranty. Nice going. Ocean since 1933. Fix it with Ocean.
And fix it for good.
Just in time for the holidays, the Mercedes-Benz Winter Dream has begun with 2.9% APR financing for 36 months on C, E, M, and S-Class models. It's an opportunity unlike any other. But don't forget, the dream ends January 2nd.
Thanks for making Fox 4 News the most watched news source in Kansas City.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs are hoping they can get it together to head for the Super Bowl as we start the fourth quarter. Bears first down at the 40-yard line. And Chris Chandler is in the game at quarterback. Handoff inside. And Anthony Thomas with his 16th carry of the game. Pushed back. Sam Rosen, Bill Boss, Dan Jiggins is with us as well. The offense has been good for Kansas City, but I think what's equally as important, Bill, 2 takeaways, 2 interceptions. When the Chiefs were going strong early in the year, that was the key for them.
Well, it has been a key. And also, Sam, it's been a formula. When they take over games early offensively, they've had the luxury of having teams have to play catch-up. And when you have to play catch-up in the NFL, you're going to gamble. When you gamble, the Chiefs will take advantage of it.
Chris Chandler, third quarterback used in the game, swinging it out to Anthony Thomas, gets up to the 45-yard line. Sean Barber and Dexter McLeon on the stop. Chris Chandler, who played well in the chances that he had as starting quarterback. Chandler completing better than 57% of his passes, 3 touchdowns, did throw 7 interceptions. Rabbi Abdullah in the backfield. Gary Stills, Arkel Truluk in for Kansas City as pass rushers. Chandler steps up and throws it away, almost intercepted by Jerome Woods, who was covering on the play. No one was open. Chandler had time in the pocket, but no one came open.
Yeah, and he just, he felt the pressure closing in on him. Is what he, and Chris Chandler's been around. This guy is about as fragile as they come, and at this point in his career. And he knows when that pressure's bearing down his neck, he's going to get rid of the football.
Fans in anticipation are up. They want Dante Hall to run one back.
Another record.
He's had 4 combined this season. 2 punt returns, 2 kickoff returns, 2 touchdowns from the 6. Bellies back and gets away from Urlacher, who was down there, and is brought down at the 7-yard line. How about Ryan Urlacher down on special teams? Face Holmes with a big day as he puts his name in the NFL record books.
Only one truck has the strongest, toughest frame of any full-size pickup. That truck is the new Ford F-150. It has a fully boxed frame with crossbars welded through the side rails, all of which gives you the highest payload. Only the next F-150 are in the right to be the 2004 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Every Sunday, these bold warriors meet in a quest for glory. Proud gladiators whose game is equal parts preparation and passion. When men become myths, and moments become legends. The game is tailgating. The cola is Pepsi. It's the cola.
Put your hands together for the next American Idol.
Went to dinner, where his head used to lay.
Well, maybe not.
I can't stand this anymore.
That was bloody awful. I mean, almost like a language I've never heard on Earth.
It's back. American Idol. A new season begins Fox January.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. By the cola that makes everything better, Pepsi. It's the cola. By Campbell's Soup, dinner that fills you up right. Make it Campbell's instead. And by the next Ford F-150 2004 Motor Trend Truck of the Year.
Big day for Priest.
Who's the real Priest there?
Well, here's Priest Holmes, and then these two guys over here, they're twin priests, if you will. That's Father Bob and Father Richard. They're of the Vincentian Parish Mission right here in Independence.
A couple of changes for the Chiefs. That pass for Omar Easy, the second-year fullback out of Penn State, is in the game. And he dropped the pass from Trent Green. Green still in there. Trent Green today has gone over 4,000 yards passing. It's a career high for him, and he's only the third Chiefs quarterback in franchise history to go over 4,000 yards. Bill Kenny in 1983, and Elvis Burback in 2000. And Derek Blaylock, number 23, is in at running back, replacing Priest Holmes. He's done for the day, and it's been a memorable day for him. Green, Tony Gonzalez, slicks one man, nice move. Gets up to the 19-yard line. The Colts are getting back in the game. Let's find out from JB.
Hey, Stan, what they did was capitalize on an 11-play, 67-yard drive on a 3rd and 3. Edgerrin James takes it over at the start of the fourth quarter. They have narrowed the gap, Indianapolis, to 17-10. Houston on top again, the start of the fourth. Back to Sam, Bill, and Dan.
Thanks, JB. The key thing is Tennessee is leading at home 26-13 over Tampa Bay, so Indianapolis must win to win that division. First down, Chiefs at the 19. With Derek Blaylock, the running back. Following Will Shields. Good block by Shields. Tillman with a tackle at the 29-yard line, and it looks good for a first down. Being separated. R.W. McWaters is there. Brian Waters is there.
Tillman's a tough dude. For a rookie, he is physical. He is a physical corner. He plays like a safety.
Brian Waters, number 54, as Blaylock gets up limping. Brian Waters, the guard, he gets overshadowed by the experience of Will Shields and Willie Rope. But this Waters is going to be a good player.
I like him. I really do. I've liked the way he's played ever since they inserted him at guard last year in training camp. He's a guy he's played a lot of positions all through high school, through college, and he was a fullback. But Dallas Cowboys was a real strong, very strong individual in the weight room. Probably the strongest on the Chiefs offensive line. But he was a fullback that he came here and he thought he was working out as a defensive lineman. 2 years ago, he thought he was going to work out as a defensive lineman. And Mike Solari came out and gave him the football and said, go ahead, be a center. Try snapping this thing.
Right. Larry Johnson, the first-round draft pick out of Penn State, number 34, is in the backfield for Kansas City. Rick Green, plenty of time, long pass. Tillman came over and he hit the receiver. It's going to be interference. He hit Johnny Morton. Morton was waiting for the ball. Tillman was going for the ball, but he ran into the receiver.
You know what, though? I'm going to tell you, he was making a play on the ball. Hey, Tillman came, he was making a play on the ball.
33 to the defense. Automatic. First down.
I see Tillman's frustration, and I understand it. But still, the bottom line is, when he comes in there, as he's going up to get the ball, he runs through the receiver, and it interferes with his chance to go up and get the ball.
So Tillman is called for the interference, puts the ball on the Bears' 47, 23-yard penalty. And now we have an all Penn State backfield of Omar Easy and Larry Johnson. Johnson carrying and gets down to the 40-yard line. You know, Penn State, I mentioned that for our director, Rich Russo, Penn State grad. We have to give him his props. And there's Larry Johnson, who was drafted in the first round.
All-American lacrosse player.
Rich Russo.
Rich Russo at Penn State, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he was playing on the lacrosse team. He was All-American there. Record scorer for Penn State.
He only talks to Penn State grads when we go to our meetings.
You know,
that's the frustrating part.
And we don't communicate at all since I went to the University of Pittsburgh. But the guy's a director, right? Big-time producer, you know, director kind of guy, you know. Drives a Jetta. What do you think about that?
I don't know about that.
What kind of guy drives a Jetta?
Green throws, and all over, another flag. This one's on Jerry Azuma.
He came over.
He went over the back.
He came through the back.
Of Eddie Kennison. So a couple of interference penalties hurting the Bears here. Greg Blosh, the defensive coordinator, he doesn't like the call.
Pass interference, defense, automatic, first down.
Watch him come right through. See when you come over the top, right through the back of the receiver. That flag's going to come out every time. The NFL, I think, has done a good job with the officials, and they made a 6 points in what pass interference is, so that, you know, everyone says they call it differently from crew to crew. I think that's one area they've got called pretty good.
Sportsmanlike conduct. 21 of the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
And they just added to it the frustration of R.W. McWaters. Gets him a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So the Bears just killing themselves on this Kansas City drive with 2 interference penalties plus the unsportsmanlike. And meanwhile, Brian Robinson also continues to yell at one of the officials. Points to him, says, get down and play.
We got Easy. We got Johnson.
2 tight ends to the right. Gonzalez and Dunn. Trent Green, plenty of time. For the end zone. Touchdown. Mark Borichter. No. It's ruled out of. He juggled it, and he was out of bounds. He was juggling it as he fell out of bounds. Borichter thought he had it and just did not hold on as he was falling out of bounds.
That thing was tight. I can tell you that much. That's pretty doggone close. The ball could have been thrown just a tad bit quicker, but I don't think Trent was sure if he had position on the DB.
And the Chiefs are going to challenge.
All right. And they'll lose it.
Because you saw him
I sure did.
Juggle it a little bit, right?
I sure did.
Yeah.
It's a good challenge, and you can see it. Watch, he pulls it in here, and then see, he never really gains possession of it all the way out. He's still got his hands bobbling over either side of the ball.
Nothing beats the fresh, smooth taste of draft beer. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Miller. Good call.
Aren't you tired of frozen dinners?
Make it Campbell's instead.
Thanks. Chunky Chicken Corn Chowder now has more chicken.
And who taught you how to pick a Miller?
Hi, I'm Rick Titus, the host of Drivers Talk Radio. Looks like you folks are having some trouble with your Odyssey. Yeah, what am I supposed to do with these? Who knows? Let me show you this new Ford Freestar. It is now possible to own a minivan that goes from a flat floor to a third-row seat to a tailgate bench and never have to remove the head restraints.
That is so cool. What's next?
You know what? I'm glad you asked. Why don't you hop on in? Let's start with safety.
The all-new Ford Freestar. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Mark Borichter on the challenge that's still going on, and this was a challenge where it's not about the feet, Sam. The feet are inbound. He's got 3 or 4 times his feet coming back. But I want you to watch the ball and watch his hands, and it's about possession. And he never completely possesses the ball while he's in bounds. He's out of bounds right now, and he's still juggling with the ball and doesn't have complete control of it. The officials are precise about this, as they are with pass interference. They want to see you possess it in your body.
Doing the play, the receiver did not have possession of the ball. He was bobbling the ball. The penalty pass is incomplete. Kansas City will be charged for timeout.
Well, you can hear what the Chiefs fans think of that call.
That's the hometown juice, Sam.
That's right. Bo Richter wanted the touchdown. He comes off the field. And the Chiefs will have a 2nd and 10. They've lost the timeout. Chiefs at the Bears 19.
It's the right call, but I wouldn't stand out there in front of 78,000 and tell them.
Gonzalez in motion. Larry Johnson hit at the 20-yard line. Hard hit on the play. McWaters was there.
Take a look at these numbers,
Haynes
Sam.
was there.
He talks about that offense running and the people that come in. Look at the plays over 20-plus yards. And Tony Gonzalez, the number he has, 14. Priest Holmes, Kennison. Bo Richter's in there. Blaylock's in there. Hall's in there 6 times over 20 yards. You know, a lot of times, you know, take a look at maybe Minnesota's offense. You have a running back, you got Randy Moss that may get some of those yards. You don't have that many
Here's
people.
Green throwing for the end zone. Bo Richter drops it. Hillman covering on the play. The pass was there, and Bo Richter couldn't hang on. Field goal kicking unit will come on for Kansas City.
I think Tillman just got enough in there to ruin the concentration of Mark Bo Richter more than anything. He mistimed his jump, but Bo Richter, just that wave of that hand was just enough to ruin his concentration.
Morton Anderson, 38-yard field goal try. One of the all-time greats. Puts it up and puts it through. Morton Anderson with a field goal. The Chiefs with a 24-3 lead.
American Wedding is coming to DVD and video Friday. Well, but we can't show you what led up to this.
I cannot believe my son is going to pop the question. Or that.
Or this.
Oh, is it weird that it feels good?
Or this.
Harold!
So you know it's gotta be good.
The kinky?
Featuring the extended bachelor party, filmed just for the unrated DVD. So get rid of that annoying red tie.
This is awesome!
American Wedding. Own the DVD and video Friday.
The new Ford F-150 has the strongest, toughest frame, the highest payload capacity, the most towing strength, and the quietest interior. So what do you give the truck that has everything? The 2004 Motor Trend Truck of the Year Award. Only this truck earned the right to be the next F-150. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
This New Year's Eve is an Arrested Development Marathon. 4 back-to-back episodes with a wealthy family that lost everything, and the one son sane enough to pull them through. Hosted by Michael's dad, live from prison. Golden Globe nominee for Best Television Comedy.
Dad finally paid attention to my intellect.
The Arrested Development Marathon at 8, 7 Central, Fox, Wednesday. Fox New Year's Eve. Join Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie for the hottest party on the planet. Live from Las Vegas with performances by Ashanti, Metallica, Puddle of Mud, Macy Gray, Hootie and the Blowfish, Keith Urban, and more. Count down the final moments of 2003. It's America's Party Live. Starting at 11, Fox New Year's Eve. Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the next Ford F-150, 2004 Motor Trend Truck of the Year.
Nervous excitement in Seattle because Dallas, midway through the fourth quarter, is trailing. If Dallas loses, Seattle will make the playoffs. Because the worst that could happen would be a 3-way tie. They'd get the tiebreaker, and they would be in.
I told you, by the end of the day, there'd be some goofy stuff going on today.
Detroit's losing in Detroit.
30-20 right now.
Wow. Baker's kickoff. Azuma from the 4. And he runs into a couple of Chiefs, breaks away, goes to the other side. Azuma, some great moves. Oh, terrific return by Jerry Azuma. One of the best in the NFL. Picks it up to the 48-yard line, a 44-yard return.
Times Square uses HP technology to manage inventory and replace every toy sold first thing the next morning. HP. Invent.
Inside that flashlight is something familiar. A battery. And while it may not be the biggest decision of your day, consider this. In the land of Middle-earth, the filmmakers of The Lord of the Rings trusted one battery in every one of their light meters. Duracell. So no matter how you play make-believe, it just has to work. Duracell. Trusted everywhere.
Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. In theaters now. It's a Simple Life Marathon.
Do y'all want to help me pluck some chicken? I'm not plucking anything except my eyebrows.
4 episodes back to back.
What is Walmart? It's like they sell wall stuff?
It's your chance to catch up with The Simple Life at 8 Fox Tuesday. We asked this beautiful woman to convince her family and friends that she's madly in love with this man. On January 19th, a lie will be told.
We are getting married on national television.
A wedding will be planned. And a family will freak.
This is ridiculous.
Now, for $1 million, will she make it through a nightmare engagement and a wedding from hell?
Randy, Randy, Randy.
My Big Bad Obnoxious Fiancé, premiering Monday, January 19th after American Idol on Fox.
Bill, the Chiefs lead the NFL in points scored this season. And that man, Al Saunders, is the reason why. One of the reasons.
He's been unbelievable since taking over as offensive coordinator 3 years ago, Sam. He's really grown into the position and excelled at it.
Chris Chandler throwing wide open David Terrell. But Terrell, instead of running straight for the goal line, ran right toward one of the Chiefs. I couldn't understand that move. He's brought down at the Kansas City 17 by Shenard Hart's 35-yard pickup. No huddle. Rabi Abdullah in the backfield. Chandler short drop looking. Throws low. He wanted to throw it away. Bobby Wade was well covered on the play, and he threw it at Wade's feet.
So going back to talking about Al Saunders, it brings up the curious situation. What's going to happen with the whole entire coaching staff
of the Chiefs?
Yeah. I mean, it all kind of hinges really on what Dick Vermeil decides to do, whether he decides to come back for another year. And if he does come back for another year, and retains all the assistant coaches because all their contracts are up along with Dick Vermeil's, does Al Saunders sit and be content with being a coordinator with all the openings that are perceived to happen sometime next week for head coaches?
On second down, pass batted down by Shenard Hart's again. Hart's second pass block of the game. Second-year safety out of Boise State.
Well, they gave up that big play, and since they got down there with the big play, they've responded on the last two. Shenard Hart's on the same blitz it was before. He was coming on the same area, the same side in between the tackle and the tight end, and got his hands up, timed it perfectly right in the pass.
3 wide receivers for the Bears on 3rd and 10. The pressure on, they've got him. Arkel Trulock, he comes in pass rush situations, and he got there for the sack on Chris Chandler.
Well, they've got. If I was a defensive lineman playing in this game, you know, for the last 3 quarters, this is all you want is be able to just tee off and get after the quarterback. First of all, the tackle never gets out there. They move Steve Edwards outside. Gandy has been hurt with his shoulder, so Edwards has gone outside, and Metcalf has come inside, and Edwards was slow getting there.
They have to get to the 8-yard line for a first down. This is a 4th down situation. Here comes Trulock. Again, he's got him. Back-to-back sacks by Arkel Trulock. And the Bears, who started on the 18-yard line, are thrown back to the 33.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. The Bears saw what happened the first time and didn't give Steve Edwards any help whatsoever.
And now with Sprint, unlimited night minutes instead of starting at 9, start at 7. And your calls are clear. Wait till I tell them about the nationwide network.
Now with Sprint, on any new service plan, you can get 2 more hours of weeknight calling.
maybe this isn't the best time to say it, but I think you're really beautiful.
Well, I've always been attracted to you too, Paul.
Wait, hold on one sec, babe. Excuse me?
Want to get away? Now you can with Southwest Airlines Internet Specials. Just $39 to $99 when you purchase by January 19th. Only at Southwest.com.
You are now free to move about the country.
The National Football League family is committed to supporting the courageous men and women serving in the U.S. Armed Forces in the Mideast. But the fight for freedom is not without loss. And the NFL urges you to join us and the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund in supporting the military families of those heroes who have sacrificed their lives in the service of our country. Please visit NFL.com/HeroesFund and help support those families in need.
The holiday season, and the Chiefs are celebrating. Celebrating a big finish to the regular season and looking forward to the new year and the playoffs in 2 weeks.
You know, you talk about the holidays, you think about belief. And we went back and I told you about the belief that Dick Vermeil has in his guys and the patience he has with them. Arcal Truluk is another one of those guys.
He really likes his guys. Larry Johnson on first down. Todd Collins is in at quarterback. His 5th appearance this season. Last one was against Detroit, December the 14th. Collins, a 9th-year man out of Michigan, who came to the Chiefs in 1998. For Trent Green, 19 for 27, 1 touchdown pass, 1 interception, and had another touchdown pass dropped in the end zone. A good day for Trent Green. Billy Baber is in at tight end. This is Johnson again. It's up to the 38-yard line.
You know, Sam, they come into today and a lot of questions and a lot of fingers being pointed at the Chiefs defense and what the problem is, and that young man right there is Greg Robinson on where is he going to be and what is he going to do and who should replace him and all the things. And he came in with this defense today on a mission, and they've accomplished that mission, and they have what they need to go into the playoffs and get ready. They have belief that they can do it. The last 3 weeks they haven't been able to do it. They're feeling good about what they can do.
Collins to throw on third down. Has time. It's a wide open man. That's Johnny Morton at the Bears 46 for a first down. 5th catch of the game for Johnny Morton. And Dick Vermeil has said about Greg Robinson, as long as he's coach here, Dick Vermeil, Greg Robinson will be his defensive coordinator.
Well, I think there were some changes that wanted to be made here in the offseason. And Dick Vermeil's like that. Dick Vermeil isn't going to let anybody tell him what to do with his staff or who comes and who goes. And he's a very dedicated man. He's patience and belief. That's his motto. And he believes that they can win with this defense and with that defensive coordinator.
Collins to throw on first down. Pressure from Alfonso Boone, and Collins goes down at the line of scrimmage. Nobody was open. There is a flag on the play, and we'll check it out. Alex Brown.
Holding, number 26 on the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Brown had the pressure on the quarterback. The penalty is on Todd McMillan. Think he'll be back next year? You think he'll come back and coach again?
The reason I think he will come back, and I think that decision, and this is all talking to Dick, me talking to Dick and the things that he said yesterday talking to him, and the reason I think he'll be back is because all of his assistant coaches' contracts are up with his, and I don't think he can leave them.
Larry Johnson, big pile there, and he ran right into it. No gain on the play. Maybe half a yard up to the 40-yard line.
And yeah, I think that the things that he's done since he's been here, he came in, this team was in disarray. Make no mistake about it. He himself told me what other people perceived to be talent-wise just wasn't it. And he had to go out and get the guys that he needed and he wanted to put this thing together. And you see how it's worked and the things that they've been able to accomplish since he's been here.
They took a step last year when they went to 8-8, and this year it looks like they'll wind up 13-3. Billy Baber, the tight end, breaks free. inside the 20-yard line, right at the 20. He shoved out of bounds. A 20-yard gain for the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's a magic number for them. Everything. Add him to the list now, too. Billy Baber. Hey, guys down in the stats truck, scribble him in there. We have another 20-yard contributor. Unbelievable. And, you know, back to Coach Vermeil and what he's done. You mentioned they were 8-8 last year, but they had #1 offense in football in everything they did. And he himself said, we've had a Super Bowl caliber offense here for 2 years. We're trying to get the other pieces in place.
Collins, short drop outside to Johnny Morton, slips away, goes down to the 14-yard line. So Collins getting some work here as the backup is getting a chance.
He's only had the opportunity to do that a couple times this year. Right. You know, Todd Collins has been around the league as a backup. This is his 9th year. Out of Michigan. You know, he was out on the field. He was over there talking to Gary Moeller, he and Moeller were together at Michigan. Remember, and Moeller's a linebacker coach for the Bears.
Collins is 3 for 3. By the way, Baber's catch was his first of the season. Cutting back, Larry Johnson. There's some room to the 5-yard line, where he's brought down by Charles Tillman. By the way, for the Bears, Bobby Gray went out with a shoulder sprain. He will not be back. He was having a terrific game. Larry Johnson. Don't forget the SBC post-game show, and JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will get you updated on all the scores up to the second playoff situations, who's in, who's out, who might be still alive for the late games. And Indianapolis has come back to tie Houston. They battle Tennessee in the AFC South for first place. Johnson reverses his field. Picks up a block. He goes in, touchdown! Todd Collins for the big block. Larry Johnson with the touchdown run. His first NFL touchdown.
It wasn't 20 yards, Sam, but I think we can add him to the list of weapons.
Well, it's 20 yards across the field.
Watch everybody. Watch what happens to the Bears. They get walled off. Everybody gets walled off. He has great patience, and he backtracks. Now look at the wall of red jerseys picking up blocks. And the last one was Todd Collins.
Larry Johnson. First-round pick out of Penn State, scoring the touchdown. Morton Anderson puts it through. And another 30-point game for the Kansas City Chiefs. Drive, Collins was 3 for 3. Passing on the drive, and a big finish for the Kansas City Chiefs. And of course, this day still belongs to Priest Holmes with his 2 touchdowns. He has passed the legendary Otis Taylor, one of the great wide receivers of all time. He starred for the Chiefs from 1965 to 1975 and had 60 touchdowns. He held the franchise record until today, when the 2 touchdowns by Priest Holmes has passed him. Priest Holmes now has 61, the Chiefs' all-time record.
Wow, you're talking about Otis Taylor, 11 years for the Kansas City Chiefs. 60 touchdowns. Holmes in 3 years. Right. 61.
Well, last year was 24 and 27 today. Just amazing numbers for Priest Holmes. Priest Holmes left the Baltimore Ravens. Jamal Lewis was there. He didn't leave. Well, there wasn't a spot for him. And but he's found a great home here because he's had 3 terrific years in a row for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, you know, I don't know if Brian Village really knew what they had at Priest Holmes when he got there. I think his past history with the knee injuries at Texas, then he had another big knee injury when he was with Baltimore at 1,000 yards, and he's only 5'9", and I don't think Brian Village ever realized how tough of a runner he really is.
Jerry Azuma's had a good game, turning kicks, gets to the 27-yard line. Larry Johnson brought him down. JP's got another update for us.
Hey, fellas, take a look at what Indianapolis did after a Donald Strickland pick of David Carr. Manning hooked up with Brandon Stokely, a 5-yard strike. It is all tied in Houston. 2:59 left in regulation. Back to Sam, Bill, and Dan.
Thanks, JB. And Tennessee has a big lead late in the fourth quarter on Tampa Bay, 33-13. So Indianapolis will have to win in order to win the division.
Manu Malayuna.
And, you know, McNair did not play. Neil O'Donnell started for Tennessee today. Manu Malayuna.
Did I get it?
Brandon Manu Malayuna.
Manu Malayuna.
Oh, you've been trying all season long. Back to the 27-yard line, 2nd and 10 for Priest Holmes. 51 touchdowns in the last 2 seasons. The best 2 years of any player in the NFL. Emmitt Smith had 47. Marshall Faulk, 47. Look at those names. Emmitt in 95, 96. Jerry Rice.
Well, the one thing he certainly did with all those touchdowns is to secure himself a spot in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he did. Desmond Clark dropped it. And a flag on the play. Scott Kuchita with the hit on Desmond Clark. And a little after the whistle stuff. So for the Chicago Bears, it will be a disappointing finish to the season. They had hoped to make it back to 500. They had started 1-5.
Personal foul, number 51 to the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's on Scott Kuchita. They started 1-5. And Dick Duran supporters will point out that he held the team together.
Those expressions ought to tell you everything, Sam. Look at him on the bench.
There's a lot of disappointment there. But Dick Duran supporters say he held the team together. They continue to play hard. They continue to work hard. And they came back and finished with 4 wins in the last 5 games, 6-3. Got to 1 under 500.
Absolutely.
However, over 5 years, he's had only 1 winning season.
And that year that they were 13-3, Sam, was a year in which the defense came up with unbelievable big plays to win games for them. 4 games were won by the defense alone that year, and they just took over games. They dominated games, if you can recall.
So his future will be decided. He has 1 year left on a contract, but his job status up in the air. That's now for Booker. And then he took a hard hit, and it's incomplete. It's incomplete.
You have to have it. It's not in bounds where you have it, but it's the continuation of the play. When the continuation of the play as the receiver goes down to the ground, whether it's out of bounds or in the field of play, if the ball comes out, it is incomplete.
Watch this hit by Wesley.
Right there, looked like a reception. But when he comes down and the ball comes out, that's a continuation of the play, and the final result is incomplete pass.
2nd and 10 for the Bears at the Kansas City 47. Chandler gets time. Pass is batted and falls incomplete. Chiefs have gotten some pressure on the Bears quarterback.
Well, they have, and it was that new look they had, that new pass rush they had with Gary Stills at the left end position and Arkel Truluck at the right end position, and then mixing the other guys inside at the tackle. That was dominant today. There's Arkel Truluck once they move Steve Edwards outside. But the pressure has been there. The sacks have been there. They made Chicago one-dimensional. Chicago had 3 different quarterbacks today, but Kansas City took advantage of it.
3 sacks, 9 pressures. Chandler throws, and Booker dives. Flag on the play. Booker comes up with the ball. And we'll check out the play. And it's interference on the Chiefs, so that play will stand. Good catch by Marty Booker, 23-yard pickup.
Pass interference, number 26 in the defense. Penalty